Okay. Thank you so much, JR. Thank you, Jerry, for a little soft brush. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my friend JR. Say hi. Bill is on a vacation today, and so we've got JR filling in. If you guys were here during Burning Bowl, that would be the last time you saw him. So, yeah. So welcome in, everybody. We're going to get going by some singing. We're going to sing... Nope. Yep. We're going to be singing I Release and I Let Go. Please rise. All right, here we go. There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Very nice, everyone. You may be seated, and I want to welcome Tina to the platform.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody today? Wonderful. It's so nice to see you here today. And if you're watching us on YouTube, well, thanks for tuning in. Before we get started, we always like to affirm our prayer and vision and mission statement for our church. So if you would please repeat after me and say it like you mean it. Okay. We pray, believe, and affirm continued growth and prosperity for Unity of Orange County, with an abundance to spare and share. With grateful hearts, we give thanks for answered prayer. And so it is. Amen. And our vision statement: centered in divine love, we joyfully co-create a world that works for all. And our mission statement: to awaken, inspire, and transform lives. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank those that helped make this service possible. And as you know, it's like all of you. So let's thank our music team. JR, thanks for being here. We so appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Jerry is always on drums. Thank you, Jerry. And Tom on vocals. And thank you, Tom. And we have Mark on camera. And we have Waverly and John are streaming. We had the lovely couple, Rosemary and Jim, giving you a big unity greeting. So thank you very much. And Ellen is providing a wonderful hospitality this morning. So thank you so much, Ellen. We really appreciate that. And Diane will be doing our daily word and our meditation today. And thank you, Reverend Allison, for stepping in today to give us our daily word. Not our daily word, give us our message. You could do the daily word too. There you go. We do have a few announcements. The Adventures in Resilience discussion group will be meeting at church and on Zoom directly following the service, and we will be meeting in the little room over here. Even if you haven't been coming to the class, you're welcome to sit in. It's really a great little class and talks all about your 12 powers. Are you looking for a way to serve Unity of Orange County? Well, we're looking for Sunday angels. And Sunday angels are people who are willing to help set up for the service or take things down after the service. And we do have, like Wilma, for instance, she is our coffee person and service angel. Thank you, Wilma. We really appreciate that. And I'd also like to thank the board for all the work that they do to set this place up in the morning. So thank you, board members, that you're always helping out. Thank you very much. The Silent Voice, Christopher's book on homelessness, is now on sale. And so please go to the Lulu bookstore and look for The Silent Voice. We also have a copy out on the lobby, and it's a beautiful book. So please stop to check that out. Next Sunday, August the 7th, immediately after the service, we will be having a memorial service for George Rockefeller. So please attend. A new class is beginning this Tuesday, August the 2nd. It is the metaphysical interpretation of the Bible on Zoom at 6:30, and our facilitator will be Reverend Arlene. So if you need the Zoom, please see Diane, and she'll give you the Zoom. Do you want to raise your hand and stand up, Diane? Because I know we have some newbies, and they might be interested. So that will be on starting Tuesday. Okay, if you need prayer, you can email our prayer line at uocpray@gmail.com. And for a full listing of all upcoming activities, please go to our website and go to the calendar, and you'll see everything there. Okay, thank you very much, and I invite Tom.
So I'm throwing things. It's fine. Don't do that. So we are talking today about peace. I'm not feeling peace, apparently. I'm just throwing things. We're talking about basically being able to let peace in, being able to establish peace in ourselves so that we can actually project that to the world today. This is a Nice Rosier song, and there's one line in particular in the chorus that as soon as I started thinking about the topic, I'm like, this would be a great song for this. So I hope you enjoy. love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, I know God. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, in a world where so many feel lost, in a world where so many feel lost, I know God. I know God. So it is time to get ready for the daily word and meditation. We're going to do that by singing together. But first, get comfortable in your chair, feet flat on the floor if that's okay for your body. And we're going to sing together, Blessing to the World. The first one is for you. Here we go. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. Now take it in for yourself, know that I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. Now fill up your cup and expand to it, everyone. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. A blessing to the world. Thank you so much. I'd like to invite Diane to the platform.
Good morning, Unity of Orange County. Here we are on this very special summer day, July 31st. And just to add a bit of trivia, this is the day that our longtime member, Bill Pierce, was born. So happy birthday, Bill, on this day. So I'm so grateful for the honor of reading the daily word and doing the meditation for you. So just take a moment to get into the silence and prepare for this very special moment of today's message, Let Go, Let God. I bless myself when I let go and let God. If I find myself ruminating over a concern or a weighty decision, I release its grip on my attention by letting go and letting God. When I let go, I am placing my trust in divine mind, the source of infinite potential. I believe there are solutions and remedies of which my limited human mind simply cannot conceive. When I let God, I am trusting the grace of God will bless my life in the most wondrous and even surprising ways. Letting go and letting God is how I live my faith. I surrender to spiritual truth, the presence and power of God, and believe the best outcome is going to be so much better than anything I can imagine. I affirm, I let go and let God, and relax into knowing I am deeply loved and abundantly blessed. And from John 14:1, do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. And now will the trustee come forward with our prayer box, and we'll pray together for all of the prayers in this box and that anyone may have in their hearts at this time. So, centered in God, assured by faith, and prospered by divine love, we affirm that the universe is in divine order, and we give thanks for answered prayer. Coming from this place of spirit, we manifest all of the good that God has for these prayer requests according to divine order. We bless them and give thanks for the highest and best of all of humanity. Now let's take a few moments for silent prayer together here in the sanctuary and wherever you are viewing this service. And so it is. Amen. Thanks, Bill. And now let's get settled in our seats and get ready for today's meditation. Let go and let God meditation. Gently breathe in and gently breathe out, releasing any tension and any stress. As you still your thoughts and become centered, a peaceful awareness fills your being. In this relaxed state, you are open to peace, love, and divine wisdom. You are one with God. I let go and let divine life fulfill itself in and through me. The phrase, let go and let God, is more than an effective affirmation. It's a way of life. When problems or challenges arise, I make a conscious decision to myself in unity with divine life to let go of my attachment to a problem and yield to a spiritual solution. This is when I am truly letting go and letting God. God lives in me and flows freely through me. God in me is my path to freedom, abundance, peace, and harmony. If I become caught up in fear, doubt, or frustration, I block the flow of God's life. Letting go opens me to the power of insight, wisdom, and love. I let go and let God manifest in my life as new adventures, unexpected pleasures, and unlimited potential. I live in unity with God. Let God show me where to go and what to do. And so it is.
invite you to stay in that space of meditation. Keep your eyes closed if that's what's comfortable for you as I present this song for you. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. There's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For spirit, one spirit, is in this very room. In this very room, is in this very room.
Good morning. Nice to see all your faces, and if you're joining us on YouTube or on the web, welcome as well. I'm just so happy to have this opportunity to step in for Reverend Arlene. And most of you know that I live down in Baja now, and Rosarita Beach to be exact, but I'm just so fortunate because I wake up every day and I hear the sounds of the ocean, and I feel the breeze coming in. And already this morning, I'm like, the humidity. Make it go away. I want to go home where there's an ocean breeze. But, it's kind of nice. But our home down there is built kind of on the outer perimeter of the housing, complex, the overall complex. If you're anywhere familiar with Laguna Woods, just picture that in Baja, California. And so we don't have what they call urbanization yet. And what that basically means is that we don't have any paved roads yet leading to our house. There are paved roads, but just none to our house. And there's no necessarily park areas or electricity or light posts or anything fun like that. So it hasn't quite reached us, although there's a rumor that it's going to be there by the end of the year. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm sure that my car will be quite a bit happier when I can drive in on a paved road rather than we keep thinking about trading up to like an SUV or some kind of Jeep to get through. But we're good. We're there. But you know what? Having this open expanse in this opportunity where it's not urbanized, it gives me this opportunity to walk freely and up hills, and I always take my walking stick because it's just, there's hills, there's valleys, there's different things. And by this time, when I'm walking around, I always use that for gratitude. I love doing gratitude in nature because everything in nature is something to be grateful for. And so recently, I'm out walking my dog, Coco, and the idea comes to me for this Sunday talk. I'm like, where'd this come from? It just kind of blew out of my thing. And that's right, you guessed it. It was, they don't have my sign up, but it's Peace Be With You. That was the title of my talk. And I thought, well, where did that come from? In the middle of my walk was Peace Be With You. I'm like, well, I guess I'm in a very peaceful and wonderful environment, so maybe that's where it came from. So when Reverend Arlene, put out the call, can I fill in for her today? I had to know I had to write this particular talk for y'all. So here it is. So, as most of us in New Thought, there we are, Peace Be With You. As most of us in New Thought at this time, there are the fortunate few who grew up in New Thought, but most of us came from a different predominant religion. And for me, that was Catholic. And when I first started in New Thought, I used to teasingly say, well, this can't be church because my knees don't hurt. Okay. And then I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't go there. And I used to say I'm a recovering Catholic, but sometimes I say that to the wrong person. It gets me in trouble. So I cut that out of my vocabulary as well. But, basically all kidding aside, I still love, the ritual and the orderliness of that Catholic service. You know what's to be expected. You know you're going to go there and you're going to get the same thing. And so if I were to go back to a Catholic church today, I know that I'm certain that I could remember all the finer points, the protocol, like sit, stand, kneel, repeat, sit, stand, kneel, repeat. I know I could get there, right? But there's a point in the Catholic service where the priest does what, like a call and response. And they'll read a passage, and then he'll say, peace be with you. And the response, of course, is, and also with you. And that goes on for a while. And then following that, then he invites the congregation to turn and say, peace be with you, to the person next to him and behind them and around. We don't run around the thing, but, in the general vicinity. So following that, they get that peace be with you. And when, I stopped attending Catholic church when I was 19, and I'm not going to tell you how many years ago that was, but we can all agree it was a very long time ago, okay? So why then did this random phrase, peace be with you, come to me when I want to walk? I was like, where'd that come from? But you know what? I pondered it for a while, as I often do those things, and it was in that peaceful, wonderful setting of Baja, and it occurred to me that the message was not really, it really occurred to me that the message was the idea that we cannot extend peace to others until we have peace within ourselves. And every week at the end of the service, we join hands and we sing the peace song, right? And within the words of the song, it states, and let it begin with me. But much like the words of the Catholic service, for many of us, when we sing it, it's pretty much by rote, okay? It's just something that we do, and it's usually, or sometimes without feeling. And what we need to get to that place is we need to have the feeling. We need to move it from our head to our heart, right? We need to have the feeling within in order to embody that idea that peace does exist in the world. So my goal today, and today only, it's a one-time special, okay, is to impart these tools and ideas to you that will allow you then to embody the peace within so that you can spend some time and spread peace in the world. Because who doesn't want peace, right? And this ability to live peacefully, quietly, and serenely with oneself is surely one of the greatest skills that we have available to us as human beings. It is inside the human being that the storms and the tempests surge. But is it inside the mind also where these conflicts start occurring? So what we become inwardly depends on what we think outwardly. So according to that, we can allow these storms to create our daily experiences. Now, I have this sign on my wall in my office, and it's next to my desk, and it says, every day we decide who we will be by the actions that we take. So if we take action based on chaos and conflict, then that's what we're going to be for today. However, if we take action based on inner sense of peace and we calm ourselves and we show up in that space, it's going to certainly be a different kind of day. So I was pondering the question, how do I really make peace with myself? And I'm fortunate, of course, to have many, many, many scholared colleagues. And so there is one named Dennis Merritt Jones. If you're not familiar with him, look him up. He's written wonderful books, and he's a wonderful imparter of the truth with a capital T. And this is what he says. He says, though it is a complex question, it is a very simple fact. It is in the understanding of the first truth, which is God, and which is all there is. We have somehow forgotten what we intrinsically knew as newborn babies. And that is that we came from spirit, we came from pureness, and we still are that pure spirit. And we are each individualized spiritual human beings swimming in this common essence of the one spirit, which is God. I like the analogy that, we're just one drop in the ocean, but without that drop, the ocean is lessened. So it kind of follows that same pattern of thought. So when we don these, what we call these human suits, right? These spirits, these suits of flesh, we began to believe this illusion that we're separate from one another and separate from our source. Most likely then, the turmoil that we're experiencing and the absence of that inner peace in our life is caused by this underlying thought. And most often, it's unconscious. We don't even know that we're doing it. And it's this sense of detachment, this sense of being apart from. And in New Thought we teach, there's only one. We are all in that one. There is no duality, because then it becomes a whole different view of life, right? And it's this fear of being alone and apart from this wholeness of life that kind of gets us tripped up. So let us not forget that the lack of inner peace by enough individuals leads to a lack of world peace. So the obvious answer then is making peace with ourselves. Hey, what a concept. And so we do that by revealing this presence within us and without us. It's dissolving all that sense of separation from the divine being. And this is a realization of the spiritual wholeness, you get what I'm saying. Intrinsically bringing it with you inner peace, because we realize that God's presence lacks nothing. So it must have inner peace. And we often use the word namaste in New Thought. And the word namaste comes from an ancient language of Sanskrit. And it basically means, I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you that is love, that is of truth, and that is of peace. And when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, then we are one. And there's a short and westernized version of that, which basically boils down to the divinity in me honors the divinity in you. So if you can't remember the whole thing, that'll work. It kind of covers the basis. So I like this idea then that one word can encompass so many things, so many ideas, and it speaks so loudly when we say it. And when you witness somebody who truly understands this true meaning of the word namaste, it becomes really obvious that the word invokes a deep sense of peace, inner peace, a great reverence for one another and for loving kindness. So this sacred act of honoring God's presence in oneself and in other people then manifests as peace and loving kindness, and it becomes this effect that we call peace between individuals. The peace between individuals then becomes cause. Anybody heard of cause and effect? Okay. And then that leads to the effect of peace between nations. So we could call this then a namaste daisy chain, right? And it continually unfolds from within, each individual to another, and then outward into the world. But we know that the words themselves have no power unless they have that intention, that feeling behind them, that conviction that we really want to spread peace. So saying namaste to another or anybody would be useless unless we can first look within, look into the mirror, and say to ourselves with reverence and loving kindness, remembering so within as without. But how do we find the peace in the storms of life? I'm glad you asked, because it just so happens I have some tools that I'm going to give you to do just that. I heard you asking back there. I heard you. So the first thing we can do is loosen up our expectations and attachments. Remembering that when we expect something to happen, we set ourselves up for a certain outcome, and then we're disappointed when it doesn't happen. Trust me, I am the reigning queen of this example. Anybody who's in some of my support groups knows that. So the next thing we can do is remember nothing is permanent. Reminding ourselves that all things must end is a great way to begin detaching and maintaining balance no matter what. Then we can catch ourselves when we're judging others and evaluating. Don't label things as good or bad. Practice living just in the moment rather than evaluating how everything is going to affect you at any given time. And if you can do that, guess what? Events will lose their grip on you. Those things that you're trying to run away from will just run away by themselves. So try shifting then your mind to finding a positive aspect of the experience. I think a lot of us will say, what would you advise a friend to do? Step out of the situation, and what would you advise a friend to do in this situation? So, the other one is to use the signs of life that's provided to you. There are signs all over the place that will guide you to where you need to go. It's like, if you want to think about it, life is like a flowing river. Let's use that analogy, right? We can do 3 things when we're in the river. When we jump in, we decide it's too hot, it's too muggy, we're jumping in the river. We can do 3 things. We can go with the natural flow. We can let the current then just carry us forward with the natural flow of life. Or we can try to go upstream, a little bit more difficult, right? Or there's another option. We can hang on to a rock and stay put. It's always an option, okay? But if we go with the flow, we'll just be carried along peacefully with the river, right? Has anyone ever gone whitewater rafting? Yeah, okay. If you haven't, I have, and it's awesome, okay? So if you're still young enough, because now I couldn't do it now, but if you're still young enough, do it, it's awesome. But what they tell you during the instruction phase is if you somehow fall out of the boat, to just pull your knees up to your chest and let the river take you down in the current. And at some point it will open up and it'll be calm and the boat will come along and pick you up. Well, the boat doesn't, but the instructor will throw you back in the boat, and they teach you that too. You grab the life vest and throw them in the boat. And so by doing that, the turbulence of the rapids, it's kind of chaotic and crazy, but when you just let go with the flow, you'll be picked up, right? And then if we try to go upstream, well, that's real battle, isn't it? Think of the salmon, picture the salmon trying to swim upstream in your head, and they keep jumping and they keep falling down, they keep jumping and they keep falling down. Well, that's going to be kind of hard, right? And then if we hold on to the rock, guess what's going to happen? We're going to get battered against the rock. We're going to keep hitting that same thing over and over and over. So I'm suggesting to you that why not take the easy road? Go with the flow. Go with the flow. And it doesn't mean you can't shoot for your goals. Obviously, we all want to have goals and we want to move towards them at any given time. But it means to be aware of the signs that your chosen path is off target. An example of that is if you're struggling too hard to have a relationship, maybe you might need to take a different approach. And I've often said in the midst of a struggle, it shouldn't be this hard. That's where I find that I need to make that shift. If I'm on whatever it is, whether it's a relationship or a new hobby or whatever, if it's hard and I keep, butting my head's trying to get it done, then I think I need to choose a different path or choose a different way to at least look at what I'm doing. And so, for instance, if you're banging your head against the wall and trying to convince somebody, please love me, maybe you might want to find a different wall or a different person. It's up to you. I'm leaving that up to you. So what we want to do then is we want to find that natural flow of life. We want to be in the natural flow, the ease, the one that takes us easily and effortlessly down the current. And with more practice, you'll begin to see that there's evidence of that coming into your life. And you'll find that you can truly trust and let go. Oh, I didn't even know the daily word was let go and let God. So here we go. I love the synchronicity of the world. Maybe you have far too much on your plate right now. We all do that. We all take, and I'm not going to point any fingers, but there's some of us in the room who overextend themselves. And so they always end up, you're stressed and you're not able to get anything done. There are things always, coming. And that's really common today. I mean, let's face it, it's a busy world. And the stress of this then further slows your progress because you're worried about whether you're ever catch up. It's like, oh, I'm never going to get to those things on my list. I'm never going to cross them off. Guess what? Try stepping back. Just one step back. Relax. Look at the bigger view. Focus then on believing that everything will get done of its own accord. I always say when I'm having problems falling asleep at night, like say for instance last night if I was having trouble falling asleep, knowing I had to get up and give the sermon, I always just say, I always get the right and perfect amount of sleep. Because maybe tonight I don't need 8 hours of sleep. Maybe I only need 6 or whatever it is. So instead of worrying, oh, I'm not asleep, I got to get up in 2 hours, I always get the right and perfect amount of sleep. I'm going to give you that one for free, okay? But when you do this, what you'll find is then things start to fall into place, and there'll be a lot less effort on your part. They'll just all the dominoes will get in the row, and you'll experience what we call the flow of life. And if you're in the midst of this emotional tornado, which we kind of seem to be going through a lot in the recent past. You can find peace amidst those storms. You really can, is what I'm telling you. And one thing about peace is that it's certain. You will never get it by struggling for it. The more you struggle for peace of mind, the less likely you're ever to get it. Nor will you ever find it by searching for it. You see, the way to obtain peace is to be receptive, to be quiet, to sit with it. Because the peace is within you already, and it's within your reach, and you must reach out to receive it. If I want to give you a gift, and I reach my hand out to give you the gift, you have to reach your hand to meet mine to take that gift from me, right? And so we are living in this time then when both spiritual leaders and scientists realize that the peace of mind is absolutely necessary to our physical well-being, and our physical well-being is not possible when our mind is filled with unrest. And the secret then to finding this is our thoughts and our mental attitude. If you want to find and live peace with yourself, you must integrate thoughts of peace, beauty, goodness into your life. And please know that this requires practice. So here's where I'm going to lose a lot of you. You're going to jump ship because we have to do the real work. Okay? We have to work. We have to practice. And what's that old adage? Practice makes perfect, right? Well, guess what? I'm going to give you permission right here and right now that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to practice and get to the next day and get to the next day. And you guess what? Then you'll get better and better and better at it. So if you think about everything that is thrown at you on any given day, this practice then that we're going to do will come in handy. And what I call it is being all prayed up. Okay? And by this I mean that I've done my spiritual practices, and I have practices of being at peace every day with myself. And they can be anything. They can be affirmations, the daily word, Bible scripture, anything that you find, gratitude brings you peace. If you do that every day, you're all prayed up, right? You're ready to go. And then when the inevitable strikes, and it will, that storm's going to come at some point, because you're already prayed up, you can ride it out a lot more comfortably. You can bring your knees up and just go with the flow. I go with the flow instead of fighting against it, which makes my life a little easier. I'm going to give you a few more tools. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. When you feel anxious, your thoughts start to jump around like frantic little grasshoppers, and no matter how hard you try, you can't stop overthinking it. This is that uncomfortable feeling that I'm talking about. But if you practice getting comfortable with the feeling, it won't consume all of your cognitive space. It won't be taking up rent and not paying in your head space. If you push it away, your discomfort will only continue to grow, as will the anxiety around the situation. So practice by surrendering to that uncomfortable feeling and feeling it through every inch of yourself. And if you feel the tears come, guess what? Don't fight them. Let them come. When you cry, it releases the stress hormones, like cortisol. So cry if you must. Avoid getting overwhelmed by placing one hand on your chest and the other on your belly and just feeling your breath. Sit up and feel your feet on the ground. It's a very grounded thing to have your feet flat in the earth. Just have one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And hold for 5 seconds. And do it again. You're now fully integrated when you're doing that because you are in the moment. You are being still. You are knowing instead of panicking about how things might go or how they might never go away. Repeat this deep breath exercise as often as you can. Don't be fooled by how simple and boring it seems. It's extremely powerful and calming. Next, we can practice staying in the now. Emotional distress stems from reliving our past and panicking about our future. Remember, the present is the gift, right now and right here. So it's either regret or fear, right? That's why if you practice staying in the now, you'll learn to let go of the past and the future and just bring your awareness to the beautiful present, the peaceful present. And even if you can do it just for one moment, you'll experience one peaceful moment. So if you practice then bringing your awareness to this present moment, you'll realize that you have control over your own peace. You'll recognize the calming effect that it has on your state of being, even in the midst of all that chaos and crisis, and even if it's only for a few seconds. And this one's a biggie, so listen up. Stop seeking approval. I think it bears repeating. Stop seeking approval. If you want to adopt a peaceful mindset, don't try to make others like you or approve of you. Take actions to meet the ideals that you set for yourself and meet your own goals. Don't look out, look in, but let go of your need to be liked. I can't remember who said it. I want to say it's Edwin Gaines or Catherine Ponder or one of those, but it's none of my business what you think of me. So let go. And if you live to impress others, to win their love, their support, their approval, guess what? You're going to go down a road filled with anxiety and emotional pain. A need for these approvals triggers self-defeating thoughts or self-doubt and self-blame. Hello, emotional distress much? Yes. So you can give yourself the gift of this peace by practicing these techniques and the ones previously mentioned. If you'll take time to practice them, what you'll find out is that you build an arsenal of coping tools in which you find that inner peace. Your peace itself will be indestructible. No emotional tornado will destroy it. Your peace will be tornado-proof. So in giving you these coping tools, you are well on your way then to this concept that I'm calling inner peace. And when you're finally tired of the struggle, let go of the rock, float peacefully into the current, that current of divine peace, and link yourself to that Namaste daisy chain. So I'm going to close today with a daily word that is from September 19th, 1943. Anybody else surprised? I was like, I didn't even know they were doing the daily word back then. So it's from 1943. So I was like, I must impart this on you. And of course, the topic is peace. And the affirmation is, great peace have I, because the Spirit of God gives me peace. The peace of God now fills my heart and makes me peaceful in mind and body. The Spirit of God is the Spirit of peace. And through him, I am at peace with my world and all that is in it. I realize that peace is God's will for me. And acting upon this realization, I now speak words of peace to all conditions of unrest and inharmony. In the name of the Spirit of peace, I decree, peace be unto you. I direct my attention continually upon the peace of God that abides within me. My thoughts become wholly peaceful. And I rise above the belief that any person or thing has the power to interfere with the peace and harmony that is supreme for me in my world. The perfect peace of spirit now pervades my spirit, my soul, and body. I am filled with peace, and the peace does not pass away, but remains forever. And the scripture is Hebrews 13, chapters 20 and 21. Now the God of peace make you perfect in every good thing. And now I'm going to invite everybody to stand up if you're physically able to do so. And turn to somebody and tell them, peace be with you. Yeah, so did you feel the difference? It was a genuine peace within you. So thank you for allowing me to give this talk today. Namaste.
I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our pray we'll find your light and hold it in our hearts. The stars go out each night, remind us where you are. Let this be our prayer when shadows fill our day. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. We ask that life be kind and watch us from above. We hope each soul will find another soul to love. Let this be our prayer, just like every child needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be safe. Need to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. Thank you, guys.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Tom, and thank you, music team. Really nice. Thank you, Reverend Allison. That was just beautiful. It really was. Unity believes in 5 basic principles. They are: God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. I do and give my best by living the truth that I know. I make a difference. And we also believe in the principle of giving and receiving. And here at Unity of Orange County, we make it really easy for donations. Why not? Your donations help keep our ministry running. And so you can donate by a credit card if you like, or you could text to 77977, and in the message you can put Unity of OC Give. And we also have the trustees coming up, and they will be passing the donation basket. So come on up, gentlemen. And if you don't have anything to put in the basket, please put your hand over and bless the baskets as they go by. But we do appreciate all of the donations that you give, as they do, again, keep our ministry running. And they are tax deductible as well. So keep track of that. That's important too. So let's put our hands together and have our offering prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful, and we always give in love. So thank you so much. So, do we have any first-timers here today? And just raise your hand so that we can see who you are. We don't want to embarrass you, or we're not going to, go look. Or any second-timers. Second-timers. Exactly, yes. We have a flower for you, and we have a card for you to fill out. And the card, if you give us your email address, you will get a daily message from Reverend Arlene. And we honestly promise not to sell your email to anybody. We keep it within our place. So we'd like to have a blessing for you. Say a blessing for you. So together, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Amen. So now that we are all filled with our light and energy, let's stand and sing This Little Light of Mine. And afterwards, let's join hands in a big circle so that we can sing the peace song. And then we will have our prayer for protection. And then after that, please stick around because Tom is going to do our 50-50 raffle. So get your raffle tickets out. Oh, Stephanie, excuse me. Someone will be doing them, so get your raffle tickets ready. So let's sing.
Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, let it shine. All right, please join hands in that circle as we sing our peace song. On earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. And altogether, wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yay, God.